Exclusive. Rachel Maddow interviews Minnesota Governor Tim Walz as Trump plots end of U.S. government. This is what I mean. These people are out of their minds, and they just can't fathom. They can't understand the fact that they are the lunatics here, not the American people. They're the ones that are way out here in left field, can't even understand basic logic. So let's just jump right into this buffoonery here and listen to the super freak Tim Walz and this ridiculous monologue that he goes into here.
Time to be here.
Yeah, it's good to be back with you, Rachel. And great first segment, terrifying but accurate. You know what they're after, and it's not that we should be surprised by this. They laid it out in Project 2025, so here we are.
Well, actually, let me ask you about that on this point. A lot of people have been today and the last few days crediting your campaign and crediting all the reporting during the campaign that identified Project 2025 as essentially what looked like a blueprint for the incoming Trump administration to dismantle the American government. They denied it. They said they had nothing to do with it, said they'd never heard of it. Does it seem to you like that's actually what they're doing?
Oh, it is. It doesn't seem it is. We took it seriously, and I can tell your viewers tonight, governors and attorney generals took this seriously, and there was a lot of planning. There's a lot of good folks, smart folks, organizations. You talked about some of them that were out there preparing for this. But there's only so much planning you can do because of the impact it makes. And just today I was at a Head Start program. What we have to do is we have to personalize this down to this matters to each person, because Republicans always want to talk about cutting government. That's in theoretically. They never want to be specific because we know that these programs are incredibly popular. But I can tell folks we were preparing for it. They wrote it out. If you go back and look at that now, you'll see this go step by step. And I would say, Rachel, that it was cruel. They planned it. Yes, it was somewhat buffoonish, but I'm not quite certain that we're reading that right. I think this is a case of that this is a trial balloon to see how much tolerance we had and what we pull back. I make this analogy. It's like you caught someone and they stole everything out of your house. You caught them and you told them to put it back. And when you start looking, some of it's still gone. What they're going to see is, oh, they didn't raise a stink about meteorologists or our folks who are monitoring PFAS in our water, so let's just go on with that. Or people that we don't think have a voice that we want to marginalize and demonize. So they were going to get this. And I heard Chris on his program talking with Jamie Raskin, who is the smartest person you'll find in Congress. They're never going to bring this the legal way because
Jamie Raskin is the smartest person. This is the problem with our government right now. This buffoon thinks Jamie Raskin is the smartest person in Congress. The dumbest, most moronic idiot that caused more harm than any one person can cause to a country. Jamie Raskin is the smartest person in Congress. Mindless idiocy here. And you see they're doubling down on the Project 2025 thing. And it's like, I've thought about this a lot, here recently, like, because everyone thought that when Donald Trump won, that the far left radicals would pull back to the middle, back to normal functioning logic type, but that's not what happened. And I've thought about why. Like, why are these people still doubling down, still attacking Donald Trump, still talking this nonsense, doubling down on the Project 2025? And it hit me yesterday that these people have no choice. Like, if they give in now and go, you know what, actually, Donald Trump's not a fascist, he's actually a pretty good president, his leadership is impeccable, they would look more idiotic and disingenuous than they already do now if they go ahead and admit it. So they have no choice, really. They're so far left, they're so radical that if they admit it now, it would make them look even more insane than they already are. It's mind-blowing that that's even possible. But so really what's happening here is they're the fascist. The far left wokeism, they're the fascist, The current Democrat Party has been hijacked by fascists, and they know it. So the only choice they have is to double down on the rhetoric and blame the other side for everything that they did themselves. That's the only choice they have. If not, they end up looking more foolish. So if you're thinking this is going to pull back and this is going to stop, it's not. These people, they need a real hard lesson, and the election wasn't it. You know, they still need a real hard lesson to wake them up from this clown world that they're living in. They want to just keep going and allow that they're willing to accept managed decline. And that's the issue here. The Democrats are willing to accept managed decline. They just want to put their heads in the sand, keep going on forever until the country crashes and burns, and they can hopefully build a utopia in its place. They don't want to fix any of the problems. As you can see, they want open borders. They want they don't care that we're $67 trillion in debt or whatever the exorbitant number is. They don't care about any of that. They care about their little establishment. You know, they're actually right about one thing. Donald Trump is a threat, but he's a threat to their little conglomerate of elites that, and they know that Donald Trump's coming to break that shit up.
Republican will vote for this. And the deafening silence of Republican governors, these are my colleagues. Some of them are my friends, but shame on you. You know what this is doing. And look, I come from a wealthy state that has the lowest childhood poverty rates, and we have a strong safety net. I guarantee you these Republican states would pay the price far more than us, and they're just silent on it. So we're going to need some courage. This is a long fight. This is ideologically everything you laid out. They want to destroy the federal government, this buyout of...
No. Donald Trump wanted to stop you fools from destroying the government, which is what he's doing, because you guys ran it into the ground and you're just too stupid to open your eyes.
Of employees, because now they threaten them. It's here. The game is here. We knew it was coming. I don't know what people thought, that we were just speaking, you know, that this wasn't going to happen. Donald Trump said, oh, I never heard of him. And now you got this guy Vote that's at the heart of it. So look, it's on. I'm glad you said that. Governors are out there. The resistance is strong. You felt it. Americans, lo and behold, like democracy and feeding their children. So they're going to fight for these things. But here's what there's a court order.
Oh,
Who
my
believes
God.
Donald Trump's going to care what the courts say? Who believes he's not going to do this? We're still finding glitches in our things. We're trying to access these systems again. They're not functioning correctly. And the ludicrousness, the insult.
You guys need to understand, we are not dealing with a regular group of politicians here. They view themselves as radical revolutionaries. And that's what I mean. The things that just comes out of his mouth, he thinks he's actually saving the federal government here or something, because that's how wacko he is. This is mindless idiocy. And MSNBC is the biggest, this place shouldn't even be able to call itself a news network anymore, with the type of deliberate radicalization of their fan base. It shouldn't even be allowed to take place. It's gotten so pathetic.
To the American public to tell us that for the first time, it was just a coincidence that the Medicaid reimbursement site glitched at the same time they froze all these programs. We have to put an end to that. We have to just...
If you think Donald Trump would just straight cut off Medicaid, you're a lunatic, period. And that's what we're dealing with here. A bunch of lunatics.
Say, no, it's not enough. And I got to tell you, I'm sending it out to those Republican governors. We sat side by side. Governors we have to deliver. We have to make sure that the water runs, that things are happening. And they're getting hammered just as much as we are.
What do you think? America's listening to you right now.
It's hard to listen to these idiots even speak, man. This is why I started making this channel, because I realized I'm smarter than almost every single Democrat politician that is currently in office.
What might have been had you been vice president instead of J.D. Vance, what might have been had Kamala Harris been the president.
You know what would happen? We would look just like the UK. We would look just like France. We would look just like Canada. Every other Western country that's already been taken over by the radical far left, that's what would have happened. We would have looked just like any one of them. Because these are the idiots that are running
right
the
now
place.
instead of Donald Trump. People hearing you talking about the pushback and the fight and that mattering. What does that mean in practical terms? The average person watching you right now who agrees that this needs a big pushback, what should they do?
Yeah, and you know that overused term, the frog in the boiling water, we've been in the damn pot way too long. I think it is speaking up. It's thinking about your neighbors. It's writing and putting those members of Congress. Look, there is no spine amongst those folks, but this is real. This is,
you guys have no spine. You caused all this. And now this is what I mean by they're the fascists. They know it, so they have to blame everybody else for everything that they caused themselves. They have no other choice at this point.
You know, they're talking about defunding the police, things that they, puff their chests up and say they're good with, making the case.
Republicans are talking about defund the police. This dude is out of his mind, man. Literally, go to bed, you old fool. Because this is pathetic, man.
And I would let, to the voters, I'm with this too. Everybody's fatigued. Trust me, I get it. It was pure hell, and the disappointment and the frustration. And I'm, soul searching. What could we have done to make the case? Because we knew this was coming. We knew that the implications. And they're throwing so much at us that we're fatigued. We spent 3 days,
not throwing police at you.
Trying to debate that President Musk gave a Nazi salute. Of course he did.
So if you really want to know how full of shit somebody is, just listen to the nonstop assertions that this dude makes. And they're able to get that off with their pathetic MSNBC audience. They're able to just lie to their face like that. But normal people with like functioning logic, when you make random wild assertions like that, you need to have facts to back them up. And if you listen, these Democrats never do. They say wild things like Elon Musk did a Nazi salute and Donald Trump wants to end the government and all this nonsense. And they just speak it and move right on. They never never give you any facts to back up their argument because there are none. Because they're out of their minds. They're literally wackos just saying things, hoping that some of it sticks. It's truly, behold, Democratic leadership nowadays. This is what happened. Like, Elon Musk did the "my heart goes to you" thing. One CNN reporter said it was certainly a Nazi salute, and now the entire Democrat establishment runs with it and just like, oh, certainly it was a Nazi salute. These people are morons, man. Oh my God, it's hard to even listen to these people speak. They're so dumb.
From what I think you said it, this is game on stuff right here. And I am worried with these federal employees because, look, they're in a tough spot around, criminal justice reform. All of the things that make our society better, those folks are in there. And they're making, they put out
30, 40 million people.
Tweets from the president's fail son who threatens people like, we're coming for you. You think this is bad or whatever. So I would tell people, stay focused. Don't take the bait on the distractions. Surround yourself with people who understand this and recognize the things they run after today.
Get far away from people like him because they don't understand anything that's happening in our country right now. They're so far brainwashed. It's insane, man. This dude has been subverted by communism, and it will not leave his brain now.
Are basically a big chunk of what society does, and people like to have clean water and hospitals and safety and roads and airports, all the things they're going after, and you summed it up. This is
Donald Trump's going after the roads and airports and clean water. But this is what MSNBC does. They lie to their base nonstop because they have to keep their base in like a perpetual state of fear and outrage. It's the only way they get ratings on this pathetic excuse for a news channel, which is really Democrat propaganda.
There's societies that function like this, where the rich and the oligarchs do everything, and there's some fabulously wealthy people who are basically, or not basically, are above the law, and the rest of us are here. And I think we have to find that voice. We have to push back. We have to be organized.
We're trying to, Trump's trying to shut it down right now. Exactly what you guys created. You moron. You delusional fool.
We do have to use the courts, but I just want to caution everyone. I don't know what tends us to believe that Donald Trump cares what the courts say. I think there needs to be more to that. And I think it is taking it to the individual people. Show what each of these programs does and what it means to people's lives.
Yeah, no matter what people motivated anybody's vote. If you didn't think you were voting to cut firefighting, if you didn't think you were voting to cut meat inspections, if you didn't think you were voting to cut air traffic control, well, it's all becoming very, very clear right now. Sir, please come back anytime. It's nice to see.
Absolute idiocy here, man. It's hard to even watch the descent of this great country into pathetic madness like this. Like, it really is. I've never seen anything like it. I don't think anyone has ever seen anything like this. Where do we go from here? What do we do with people like him? You know, that just, they're gone, fried, brainwashed. You know, this is the problem with our education system too. Like, if our education system wasn't so pathetic and terrible, we wouldn't get stuff like this. We wouldn't get idiots like this that are able to get voted into office, you know, by saying Trump bad and fear mongering. It actually hurts my heart because it's been proven throughout history what a society, an educated society with a good education system, it's been proven that they can essentially take over the world if they want. Like, education is that important, and we've just let it decay into madness like this. And I don't know where the country goes from here, how we turn around from this. I don't see anything that is going to literally just flip this on its head and we start heading back in the right direction. These people are too far gone. Their utopianism is too entrenched in their mind, and I don't think there's no getting it out now.